Okay, today we are reviewing Transformers Wheeljack from the Masterpiece series. This, however, is not the Masterpiece from Takara Tomy. It is a Masterpiece from Takasa Tony, which means it is a knockoff. So let's take a look and let's see what it looks like compared to the regular. So, as you can see normally from the same packaging, we see the same thing as we normally do. The packaging is spot on for the Japanese version. You have this nice gloss here of them with the matte finish. You have some silver foil here, along with on the back side here. You can see that how it really catches the light. Transformers Masterpiece Wheeljack. Love the packaging, I always have. And it, again, the people in China have done a great job keeping up with making it look exactly the same. So let's see what we have inside. So let's move him out of the way for now. What does this come with? Because sometimes they come with extra goodies when you get the knockoff. Well, we get two little pieces here. One, this is kind of hard to see, but this is some assemblance required. You still have to do a little bit of assembly here. This little middle piece of the black part, that's throwaway, but what these are the rear view mirrors that go in little slots. Where is it? Right here. Kind of hard to see because he's still in the packaging. But you can see right there and right there. That's where his rear view mirrors go, so he can see. And it comes with two of them. And I believe that the actual real one only comes with one set. But this one, I guess they give you two just in case. So we'll put those off to the side. Here we have your anti-hypnotic device. I love this piece. It is so pretty compared to him. I am not a huge fan of just blue and red. Green and red. So I like a little bit of color with him, and I think this is really sharp and it really stands out. So we'll set that off to the side. And of course, what else we have is we have his card and the directions, and we've seen these before. Again, the card is gloss on both sides and has interesting facts about them, but they're all in Japanese, so you can't read them anyway. Same with instructions, so we don't need to look at those. So if we take this apart, what do we have in terms of weapons? Well, you can see we have some pretty decent weapons here. We have this little blaster, which is kind of a futuristic looking little blaster. It's kind of interesting. You have the grenade launcher and the grenade itself. Now, the blaster, there's nothing to it. It's just painted silver piece of plastic. Grenade launcher, again, pretty much painted piece of silver plastic, and same with the grenade itself, or the metal, whatever you want to call it. However, there are two little grooves on the inside there, and you can see the groove right here. Can you see that? Yeah, so that little groove right there, line them up, and it goes all the way in like that, and that's what it holds. I would actually like these to be on a little bit of a ball joint here, so you could turn them back and forth and be more on a swivel than just up and down motion, but I guess that's fine. So if we take him out, get rid of that, don't need it. You can plug this into the top. There's just a kind of a hidden port there. You put it in, and you can do that. You can shoot up, whatever. Sometimes it stays a little better than others. Sometimes, there you go. Sometimes it doesn't. So let's see him on a size comparison. So here's him next to Prowl. Again, Masterpiece. Again, you can see they're pretty much the same length. Not much difference. Again, they both weigh a lot. They both feel nice and sturdy. Kind of, you see this one here. Actually, it looks like there's almost a little bit of kibble, less kibble on Wheeljack than Prowl. You can kind of see him, his whole robot mode sticking through. Whereas him, you really don't. And here he is compared to, I believe, the Hunt for the Decepticons. Very similar. Obviously, this one, the Masterpiece, is going to be able to do a lot more stuff than he does. But they look pretty good together. You know, it's two nice iterations. Of course, this one definitely feels like cheaper plastic than this one. Even though this one is a knockoff, this one from Hasbro definitely feels like a cheaper plastic. But I think for most of us that have been collecting for a while, we know that that's the way they're going. So let's take a look at him. What does he have? Well, his wheels spin nice. I actually like that they colored some of them. They are not rubber, which most of them aren't these days, but they still spin nice. You can see how they go. The only issue I've noticed so far from this being a knockoff compared to the real thing, and that is the paint apps. Now, there is a lot of paint on this guy. I mean, he is a white car with a ton of paint. So most of it is actually pretty good. You can see the lettering here is pretty sharp along here, but every once in a while you get a little bit of bleed over. And you can see here, I don't know if you see a little bit of green trailing down a little bit. The black's not exactly all the way over. There's kind of hard to get the green inside here, but realistically they did a pretty good job. You can see here that the green is just not quite these super sharp lines. It is back here, but it's not necessarily on here. But this is a different, this is paint on clear plastic, so that's a little bit different. Okay, so you can see he's pretty good. There's nothing else really to show. Again, he's missing his little rear view windows. But if you want to transform him, you start by doing the one thing you don't want to do, and that is breaking him in half. So what is kind of cool about this is different than most Transformers, and this is the body and the head, well, not the head, but this is the body and the shoulders and the hands and all that stuff, and this is the feet. If we come over here and take a look at Smokescreen, you can see Smokescreen, his head and his arms and everything, that's all at the all up here with the front of his car. Whereas you can see the back of his car, you can see here's the taillights right here, those are the feet. So it's a little bit different. So we'll put him off to the side for now, and we'll bring him back in a little bit for a size comparison. Okay. So you can start with either side you want, but I prefer to start with the bottom. So what you want to do is kind of break this open here. Let's see if I move forward. Okay, so you break that open, and then you just want to kind of move these down. And what you're trying to do here is you want to separate this top part of the car from all of this. So just kind of wiggle it around, and it just pops out pretty easy. And this is pretty easy to do at this point, because what you now do is you're going to pull down both the legs. I like to pull them down first to have a little more room to work with. And you can see his whole body kind of folds up in there like most of them do. So you can just go ahead and fold that down, pop the legs out. That gives you a little bit more room to work with. And then kind of turn these down, pretty straightforward. This right here, this is the bottom part of his foot. So you turn it like that. There is a little tab here and a little groove underneath there. That just goes into that, like so. See, that's the bottom of his foot. So then you just do the other one, just turn it around, and pretty much lines up. And then this, you want to bring this down. You want to bring this out, and it just comes over. And again, there is a little tab right there that goes in that hole. So you push that in. Really nice, straightforward, easy transformation. Some of these guys, I think they make harder just because they're Masterpiece. Not necessarily because they need to make them harder, but they do. Okay, so that's in. So that's the legs. It's pretty straightforward. Now there is a little bit of a groove right, let's get it right there. See that little piece sticking out there? It can go into a little groove right here, which doesn't show up very well. But there's a little extra groove right where my finger is. And I don't think it really fits there. Like, it's right, that's it. I prefer it up here, though. I think it seems to fit a little bit better up there. So that's where I prefer it. But anyway, so that's its legs. It's not going to stand up right now because it's kind of top heavy. But there's its legs. Oops. What did I not do here? No, they're just off. Okay, so both legs are out. Now let's do the head. The head is in here. You just open this guy up. Open this guy up and pull out the head. Whoop. There you go. There's Wheeljack. Hello, Wheeljack. Okay, this part, super easy. Pull this off here. These things just rotate around. Now, what you want to do first is you want to bring out, you can turn this whole thing down, and you want to bring these up as little fins. Okay. There is this little piece here. Just go ahead and fold that in. And see these wheels? You need to just pull a little bit on each side and they'll come right through. And that's the back. So you can see now he's pretty well assembled. There is a little groove, little opening here, and a little piece of plastic here that fits in there. Now I don't know if this is because it's a knockoff or not, but those don't seem to fit in all that well. But once you get him transformed, I mean, he's pretty stable. I'm moving right here, and he's not really going anywhere. So you do have to manipulate the arms a little bit. So there you go. So you move that, so you can see his move there. You're going to have to twist. Oops. Hold this, twist it so his hand is in the right way. And this piece of plastic, which is the fin of his car, sometimes these hit each other. So what you want to do is make sure they are not aligned and then turn it. So turn that there, pop this back in. And there you go. So now I have that. So it's the same thing over here. Let's go ahead and turn that first this time. Move that here, and then turn his hand, and that's him. This is Wheeljack. Hang on. There we go. Like I said, his feet need to be played with a little bit once in a while. Alright, so there's Wheeljack. And here he is next to his good buddy. They've been fighting Decepticons a long time together. So with Wheeljack, you can either hold your launcher like this, or it can go to either one of these two little ports. Obviously I prefer, like most people prefer to have it in one of the little ports. These guys, there's a little stop here on both of them, so both of them you can move them around a little bit. But they stops pretty nice. You can put the gun in one of his hands. Again, it has the grooves. You can see on the side of the gun there. That fits right in the palm of his hand. Get in there. Of course, once they get in, they are not coming out. There's that. Holding his gun, and I think he looks pretty good. And then he can carry his anti-hypnotic device in the other hand if he wants. Again, I like. No, that's not in there all the way, but I really like the blue. I think that blue really adds a little bit of contrast to him. Now, of course, there is one other bit that again, he looks really good. Oops. I have lost my foot support. There we go. So, I really like him. I think that he looks really well together. You don't notice a lot of the back kibble. I mean, in terms of the car is pretty much hidden. The only place it's really not is on the back of his arms, but that's okay. But I think he looks great. And in terms of the joints, they are nice and stiff. Again, you can see this is, look at that. This is a knockoff, but the joints are great. He can move his arm up and down. He's got all the little turns, and they are tight as can be. There is not an issue anywhere, even if right here I'm trying to take this out with one hand and it's not coming. But the one thing I want to show you guys before we finish, and that is the head. Of course, this is kind of a little secret here, or it was a little secret, but now everybody seems to know about it. You undo the little screw here, and that seems to stay in. There must be like a wash in it or something. But you take this off. Oh no, I lost his face! And if you pop this out, come on. Come on. Why are you doing this to me on camera? Okay, you pop that out, and oops, don't like that. You've got his little face. So you can put that face back on if you want. And now he's got his different looking face. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Nope, not wanting me to. But there you go, you can see that. So anyway, this is Wheeljack. Here he is. Here's his actual face. He lost it. I don't think he likes it. It's a neat little thing. Obviously, like most people,